Good afternoon, folks, or rather good evening. It's as black as the black hole of Calcutta outside. It's cold as well. Anyway, a good evening and welcome. I'm working on the Blaupunkt radiogram again. And basically, I think I've got it sorted. It's basically. It would the valve for the right channel here was it right? Yeah, the valve for the right channel was red plating, and it turned out to be a 34 picofarad capacitor, and anyway, I've replaced that and...
Now, Friday night is music night with the very finest Gregory Porter. That's Grammy-winning jazz singer Gregory Porter tonight. Sounds
right channel.
10, Sarah and Annika Rice at midnight.
Oh, that left cat tell.
Simon Coe, shout out please for our happy posse travelling from South Wales to North Wales. Cars overflowing with 3 kids. That's Tabby, Ruby and another Ruby. The dog is Humphrey, there's me, there's Claire, and the wonderful Martin is dutifully driving and still smiling despite driving all day in work. But we've phoned 29 times now and we're very sad we didn't get to speak to you, so a shout out will cheer us all up again. Alright, well, have a safe journey. Sorry didn't get through.
Sounds a bit trebly on one channel. Just swap the speakers over.
I wonder if you could say hello and thanks in advance please to my brother George Denaro, taking all his nephews Fergus, Rowley and Wilbur and various uncles to watch London Irish play this Sunday as their late Christmas present. Have a good weekend. Alice Clark this is, and the nephew's mum Ellie agrees. Right, it's 6:34, it's Radio 2 and Joseph is picking this next one. Joseph Barber, I think. Hello Joseph.
Hello.
Alright Joseph, where are you?
Right, let's turn that down because we don't want to get any music on there. Right, what I've basically done, I've basically done an alignment. The AM rod aerial's missing because it's knackered, but we'll go to that's FM.
A festival which we mentioned, or might it be the rugby?
Which is working fine.
It is the rugby.
And are you English supporters? Are you Scottish supporters?
That's medium wave. And I've actually got an aerial down here. That AM's a bit crap. Let's turn the volume up a bit.
Two lanes are closed 16 to 17 after an accident in a car still at the scene. The M4 in South Wales still busy eastbound 27 High Cross to 26 at Malthus Road after an accident now on the hard shoulder. The M25 clockwise queuing back from 26 at Waltham Abbey to 24 at Potters Bar after an earlier breakdown, and the M27 in Hampshire westbound junction 9 at Whiteley at breakdown on the exit slippers cause queues on the main carriageway. Warner Merchant 5 Light Travel.
Across the UK, coming to you live from Westminster.
Inside the A&E units here at Bradford Royal Infirmary.
I'm in Barrow.
So basically,
Here in Belfast.
Today coming from Aberdeen.
We find out exactly what the UK thinks and feels.
We've got Mark in Oxfordshire and Vanessa in Edinburgh and Martin in Rotherham.
I want to bring in Chris, who's in
I
Buckingham.
need to sort the aerial out.
Wolverhampton morning.
This is 5 Live.
We will not be getting in the way. Business here is going on as normal.
Don't say that we don't bring you to the most interesting places in the UK. BBC 5 Live. 5 Live.
The AM's a bit crappy in this room anyway.
Tony and Rich, I'm here with you until 7.
I'm on this aerial here.
The programme, we're going to be talking about this Snapchat. The social media app has had a bit of a jolt today. They've got a Kardashian to blame for all this. Reality TV star Kylie Jenner tweeted that she was so over Snapchat, and in doing so, she wiped £1 billion off Snap's market value. This is what she said.
So, does anyone else not open Snapchat anymore? Or is it just me? Oh, this is so sad.
Well, Kylie...
There we are, right out of it now.
24 million followers, but it was too little, too late.
Still love you though, Snap. My first love.
For the rest of the programme then, turning our
So basically I'm going to have to do the aerial
transform you
on the
from
AM.
person to animal in just a matter.
Right.
And the gram input. And that's the gram input. If I go to put my glasses on, do the buzz test on the gram input. That one. And that one. Right, so that's all working, and the radio is working now pretty much as good as, I mean I can sort the AM aerial out, I think.
Going to be a disaster. And everyone stop saying it's going to be.
Listening to Smooth Radio.
As far as I'm concerned, folks, let's turn it off. As far as I'm concerned, that's working. It's took a while to sort this one because I've had to keep taking it off the bench and putting it back on, and I've had other things getting in the way, and I've just not had the time to sort of like do it as I want to do it, where I want to do it and when, and you know, other things have to be done as well. So basically, just wrap these speaker wires up. So but basically that's basically, hang on, that's basically that done now. That can be put back in its cabinet, and its turntable connected back up, and get a cartridge ordered for it and get it all done. You know, get a cartridge in the tone arm and stuff, and you know, that's me finally me Blaupunkt. I'm not really bothered about the AM. I will look. Let's see, I've got the AM aerial here. I've got the AM aerial here, but I don't think there's really a lot I can do with it. It's really bitty, and see what I mean? I mean, I would have to actually do quite a bit with that. There's paint to come off these, the insulations come off it here. You know, the insulation, the enamel has come off it in places. There's wires here chewed up. I could probably do it. I will have a go, but you know, I will have a go, or even see if I can find another aerial that'll do the job. But because there is actually an adjuster here for adjusting the aerial. All that works. You know, so it's just a matter of sorting this out. And there's aerial tuners on here as well, so it's a tuned aerial, obviously. But yeah, so that's my next job, to have a look at the aerial and see what I can do with that, the rod aerial, or the antenna as the Americans call it. Anyway, that's just a quick update, and I'll let you hear the product that this came out of once it's all back in. I know the speakers in that. I was actually going to break it up. If I hadn't mended it by the end of the weekend, I was going to scrap it, but I've done it. Turned out to be a little 34 puff capacitor. There's one on this channel as well. I will replace that. And they're very hard to get out. They're very hard to get at, because this side here is not too bad, but round the side here where the other one is for the other channel, that's really where your hands are tied. That's really where you have a problem, because without taking the board out for the volume control and the tone control and whatever else, you're a bit screwed. But we're working now. We're working as good as we can be expected. I mean, it's working better than it's ever done. And at the end of the day, I need to sort out a new power lead for it, because I'm not using that because it's damaged. I just put through that together so I could use it on the bench just to get it going. But proper lead I will actually hardwire a lead into it. Get a nice long piece of, and given that it's a I might earth this as well, because it's a because it's an isolated chassis. I'll check actually, make sure it is isolated from the board and stuff. And what I'll do, I will actually earth this. I'm certainly going to earth the record deck, so I'll be putting a 3-core cable in it. So we'll be looking at the possibility of doing that, and I'm very pleased with the way it's turned out. It's working in the best it's ever done. I think I need to, really I could have done with a circuit diagram on it, and I haven't got one. And could have done with a circuit diagram, but unfortunately, because I think one of these capacitors is wrong down here. I can't remember the value, but I think I put one in which is not the right value, and it is causing an issue. But it's nowhere near as bad as the issue it was. I mean, it was what's the word I'm looking for? It was really sort of distorted. No hums or anything, but it was distorted, and it would come on and sound okay to begin with, but as the valves started to warm up and conduct, that's when you got your issue. But I think we're done with it now. It's time for me to go and make my tea. Check my Facebook or my Facebook, my Twitter, shit like that. I generally chill out for a bit. You know, but yeah, I'm happy with that now, and it can go back in its case, get a cartridge in it, and have it playing some records, get it maybe put it in the front room for a couple of days and give it a real good test, and have it playing some records. It's about time. This is not, I will admit, this is not the original chassis to the cabinet I've got. I've had to make some changes to the wiring, because the cabinet I've got is a better cabinet, and the chassis that was in that was worse than this one. It was a really, it had all sorts, and I got one channel going, and the other channel was distorted to fucking, I just weren't happy with it, and the radio wasn't working properly. Certain parts of the radio didn't work. I think there was a problem with the AM, and I just didn't want to get into it because I had two. I could afford to sacrifice one of them, and the other one had a better deck in it as well. It's a Garrard. They were both Garrards, but the other one, this came out of a Barcelona. The one I've got is an Arkansas. So, but this does fit on this board. This is the original board for the Arkansas, and it all does fit on here. The transformer's bolted on, as you can see. It all does fit, and the let's turn the variac down so it's down for next time I need it. There we go. The reason why I brought it up on the variac, I'll be honest, even though I didn't feel I needed to, I just did it because there's two wires that come from the output. There's a couple of wires. There's a wire that comes from the output transformer here and goes to the tone board here, down here, and there's another wire that comes under the chassis and comes up to the tone board, and they're both grey wires, and I had to desolder them, and I weren't sure if they went to the same place, and I couldn't remember, and I didn't have any close-up of this to find out, so basically I brought it up on the variac, so if anything went wrong, then, and I also had the limiter lamp on as well, the current limiter lamp. That's turned out. I had that in circuit. That's out of circuit now, because once it warmed up and the radio started to make some noise through both channels, I realised it was right, so I could crank that fully up and turn that off and give it full AC. But I'm not messing about recapping it. It doesn't need to be recapped. Radio works fine with a good aerial on it. FM works fine. It's got a good valve in the FM, good strong ECC85 in the FM. It's really good. These output valves are good and strong. They're producing a lot of, they're producing the power they're supposed to produce, about 10 watts or something, thereabouts. And there's no, because these are ECL86s that are in this, and I've actually got two sets of these. I've got another set which is a better set, and I think they might be here. No, they're not. They're not. You can tell by looking, they're not. But I've got them somewhere, because they're not them. But I know I've got a really nice clean set with nice good printing on them and everything, and they've hardly been, well, I say they've hardly been used. They're probably original. There was the Siemens, and I think this valve here, I think this is an original Telefunken. A couple of them are. So it's had Telefunken valves put in it at some point. But there again, it would do, wouldn't it, with German. But what I can do now, folks, now I've got this all how I need it, I can actually mount, if I can find the screws, I can mount the chassis, so unplug that. I can mount the chassis back to its board now, but you don't need to see me do that. Anyway folks, thanks for watching. More to come later. Bye for now.